Hey everybody, I'm Natalia Bonner and I'm super excited to be back and share another fun live machine quilting video with you. So before I get started, I just got back late last night from teaching at MQX in New Hampshire, and it was so much fun. I met so many awesome quilters there, and I just have to say thank you to all of you that were in my classes and for so much positive feedback that you gave me about these videos. So it's super encouraging to, keep moving forward and doing more of these videos when I hear such kind things from you. So along those lines, my next teaching event, because everybody's always asking, will be in Salt Lake at UQSM in May. I work my classes, so if you'd like to see me there, is everything okay? So if you'd like to see me there, then QSM Salt Lake in May. I'll be there. Are we okay?
It's saying that I was trying to reconnect.
Is it still?
It says live. So let's keep going.
Okay, sorry, we're live. Sometimes you have technical difficulties. So today I wanted to jump on here. This is just going to be a short machine quilting video, but I wanted to show you just some basics, some things that you should know before you actually start doing any ruler work. These things are applicable to both the domestic machine and the long arm. Obviously, I do all of my machine quilting on a Gamma long arm machine, but you can absolutely do ruler work on your conventional machine as long as you have a ruler foot. But you all know me, and you know that I love to do a giveaway with each of these live videos. So before we start, here's the rules. To enter to win one of my trailer, see it? One of my trailer machine quilting videos, all you need to do is leave a comment and tell me if you've ever done ruler work before, and then share this video. So we'll leave the giveaway open for about 24 hours. So tomorrow, Tuesday, sometime we will jump on here and announce the giveaway winner. So in the meantime, share this video and tell me if you've ever tried ruler work. So we're going to turn to the machine and I'll show you just a few basics that you need to know before you start machine quilting with rulers. So as you can see here, this is my Gamma. I quilt on the 22-inch long arm machine. But what I want you to notice right here is this extended plate that I have on here. Now, obviously there's different versions of this. I've had this one for several years, so it's an older version, but it still works great. So before you do any work on a long arm or even a domestic, you need a large flat working space. So on your long arm, you need one of these extended base plates, something like this that gives you this nice flat work area underneath your quilt, okay? The next thing that you need to make sure that you have is a ruler foot. So you can see right here that this foot that I'm using is a thicker foot. See all the way around how it's thick? This foot is actually the Gamma quick change ruler foot. So the outside of this foot right here measures 1/4 of an inch from my needle. Super helpful when you're doing machine quilting and you're using the markings on the ruler to line up with here as far as your measurements go. It's nice to know that you have a nice perfect measurement all the way around there. Okay, so the other reason why it's super important to have this ruler foot, you can see that it's nice and thick. If I had a thin hopping foot, when I'm doing ruler work, chances of this foot, or my ruler, popping up on top of here or sliding under and causing problems is pretty high. So you can see that this foot is made to just butt up right next to my ruler, okay? Chances of that sliding under there, well, it can't go under, obviously. Yes, it still can pop up on top like that, but with that thicker foot right there, it makes it a little bit more difficult for my ruler to pop up on there. The other thing that's super important, you can see that this is a machine quilting ruler. Not like my rotary rulers, it's not a thin ruler. This is a thick ruler that is made for machine quilting. So I guess you can try to use your rotary rulers to do straight line type machine quilting. But if that ruler does pop up on there and your needle hits it or your needle bar or something hits it, if it's a regular ruler, chances of it breaking, causing damage to your machine are pretty great. So my best advice that I can give you is make sure that you're always using a extended base plate, or on your domestic machine, a large working space. Make sure you've always got this ruler foot, and then make sure you're working with machine quilting rulers. So before I get into the demo and show you just a little bit about machine quilting, don't forget I am doing a giveaway, giving away one of my trailer machine quilting rulers. Both of these rulers that I'm showing you here today are available for purchase on my website, peaceandquilt.com, but I am giving away one of these. So to enter to win that, all you have to do is leave a comment, tell me if you've ever done ruler work before, and share this video. Pretty easy. Okay, so let's hop on over to the machine. Before we do that, these threads that I'm using here, on the top I'm using So Fine. The color number is 402 by Superior Threads. And then this is Bottom Line, the color number 624, also by Superior Threads. And again, I do have these products available on my website. These are my favorite threads to work with. So, okay, we'll move over onto the quilt. I'm going to clamp the sides of my quilt out nice and flat. I like things to be really tight and flat for my quilting. Okay, so in all of this plaid, or patchwork I should say, not plaid, background, I'm going to do some cross hatching and then go through and fill it back in. When you're starting out with ruler work, if you're using a straight ruler like this, you can see when I line my needle up right here with this corner, my needle right here and the outside of my foot, okay, that's 1/4 of an inch, the outside of my foot, from my needle point, which is right in my corner. If I hold my ruler and line it right up with that corner, like we would do with rotary cutting, when I start stitching, my point is going to be 1/4 of an inch away from that corner. I want my stitching to intersect that corner. So how do I change that? On the 4-in-1 ruler, this inside line is marked at a 45-degree angle. So I could, if this was pieced perfectly square, which it looks like it is, I can line this 45-degree line up right with that seam line. Then when I hold it, now up here you should be, hopefully you can see that my ruler is about 1/4 of an inch away from that corner. So when I stitch to that corner, I should intersect that corner. Now if my piecing isn't perfectly straight, which when I piece a quilt, it's not always perfectly straight because I'm not perfect, then I can use these fun little notches on my trailer ruler. Super helpful when you're starting out and learning to do ruler work to help you visualize where you're going. So you can see when I line this ruler up, I'm lining this notch right here, right up with that corner. So now when I begin stitching, I know that notch right there is 1/4 of an inch from this side, from this part of the line right here. So is my foot. So when I stitch, I know that my stitching is going to intersect that corner perfectly versus trying to have to kind of guesstimate a little bit. So I'll stitch that out and you can see how nice those points are on the trailer ruler. And don't forget, I am giving away one of these trailer machine quilting rulers. All you have to do is leave a comment, tell me if you've ever done ruler work before, and share this video. Okay, so I'll start out and take just a couple of stitches here. Oops, let me run over to my machine really quickly. And if you have any questions, when I'm done demoing this, I will go back through and answer questions, so feel free to ask away. Okay, so I'll take a few stitches right there, securing my stitch. Now I'll use my trailer ruler, line it up with that corner, and I'll begin stitching right out to the corner. You can see as I get close to that corner, I adjust and move my ruler away. Continue stitching. And I've ended right in that corner. Okay, and I would just continue that so you can see how nicely that trailer ruler, the straight side with these notches, helps me line things up. So I hope that makes a little sense. I hope that gives you a little bit of inspiration, take the fear out of machine quilting with rulers. Okay, I'm going to turn it around and answer some questions. Okay. Let's see. Susan says her ruler base will be there tomorrow. Yay! Ruler quilting is so much fun. Paulette says hello. Hi, Paulette. Let's see. Thank you, Carol. Juanita says, my husband does the long arm and would like to win a ruler. That's awesome. I love it. I love husbands that do quilting too. That's awesome. Let's see. Okay, I'm just reading through these. So Sharon commented and said, so I go slow and stitch with regulation. I do all of my machine quilting with my stitch regulator. I keep it at 12 stitches per inch. Yes, ruler work is slow. It's a lot slower than just regular free motion quilting, but the precision, the accuracy, things like that you can create, just the amazing quilting you can create with a ruler is totally worth it to me. Let's see. Just reading through these a little bit. Getting ready to start. Okay, so Kate says, what machine do you do? I can use, so I'll turn around and show you. That's my machine right there. This is the Gamel 22-inch machine, and that's what I use to do all of my machine quilting. Let's see. Okay, so Teresa's asking, what do you have under the quilt that keeps it from sagging? I keep my quilts, let me turn this around so you can see. So I like everything really nice and flat. So I always, something that's super important is make sure the quilt backing is really nice and square before I load it on. The next thing that I do, and this is totally personal preference, a lot of people will float their quilt tops. You can see here, I don't float my quilt tops. I like them to all be up off the floor and on the machine, so everything is up there tight, nice and flat. Not too tight. You don't want your quilts too tight. But the other thing, back at the beginning of the video, and you can rewatch this, but I do have an extended base plate under there that gives me a nice large working surface. I'll turn this back around. It gives me a nice large working surface, and you really, really need to have one of those before you do any ruler work. You can see, I'll turn this around for a second and show you. If I didn't have this ruler base plate on here, see how I can hold my ruler flat? If I didn't have that, I would be holding my ruler more like that next to my foot, and it would be not fun. So I highly recommend having an extended base plate underneath there. And they are available. You'll want to check with probably your machine dealer to pick up those. Okay, I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Oh, Janice, thank you. MQX was so much fun. Let's see. Yes, so Joe asked, will my rulers work on regular machine? Yes. You can use these rulers on any machine that you have the ability to drop the feed dogs and use a ruler foot. So as long as there's a 1/4 inch clearance all the way around. I know that some machines have a needle, a screw that's a little bit too big. You'll need to replace the head, the screw, like the head of it or the eye, whatever it's called, I don't know, with a smaller one so that you have that 1/4 inch clearance all the way around. Let's see. Kate asks, Kate, just check it out. Gamel Quilting. That's who's the company that makes this machine. It's a pretty amazing machine. Let's see. Susan asked, do you have the ruler base attached to your machine all the time? Occasionally I'll take mine off when I'm using, because I do have the Statler stitcher on my machine. When I use that, I will occasionally take it off, but a lot of the times I just leave it on my machine all the time. The extended base plate will take up a tiny bit of my throat space, a few inches, but usually I'm okay with it, so I'll just leave it on there all the time. I hope that makes sense, and I've answered a few of your questions today. But like I said, I am giving away one of my trailer machine quilting rulers here on Facebook. All you have to do is leave a comment. Let me know if you've ever done any machine quilting with a ruler before, and then share this video. So I hope you are all feeling a little bit inspired. Don't forget, if you do want to purchase one of these, the thread that I'm using, the batting, all of those supplies I have on my website, peaceandquilt.com. Thank you. Have a great week, everyone. See ya.